Obviously, Bryce and I are really excited about a game on Saturday.
Yep.
But we'll touch on that a little bit later. We're going to preview the Ohio State-Michigan game, otherwise known as the game.
The game.
And we're also going to preview the Iron Bowl and really delve into, because the Iron Bowl has a lot of BCS implications, including for our Bucks.
Yep.
Let's talk about Thursday night, or the Thursday games. And I say Thursday night games. It's Thanksgiving, guys.
Yeah, it's Thursday all day. Forget the food, fellas. That's secondary. We have some great football for you in store.
I can't disagree with you. Green Bay at Detroit is going to start off the Thanksgiving Day feast.
Division game.
Great game. It starts at noon. Who you got?
I'm going to go with Green Bay at home on this one.
Green Bay's not at home.
Green Bay on the road. I think if Green Bay wants to stay relevant in the playoff picture, Matt Flynn, who's probably going to start for the Green Bay Packers this week in place of injured Seneca Wallace, Tolzan, and Aaron Rodgers, they'll need to keep pace with some of their division foes, and I think Detroit is one of the key wins for them. I think they get a heavy dose of Stacy, and I think Green Bay takes us on the road.
Of Stacy?
Lacey.
Okay.
I keep trying to trade for them in my fantasy league, and they're on the same team, and I get them confused.
I think, well, first of all, let's tell you, Green Bay has Aaron Rodgers did get back to practice this week.
That
doesn't really mean much
next week, from what I understand.
But I agree with Bryce. I think with Matt Flynn coming in and starting, he really lit a fire under Green Bay last week, leading them back from
21-6 deficit, something like that.
It was pretty bad, and I mean, game ended in a tie.
And I mean, Flynn's only played 2 games for Green Bay, and one he threw, I think, 35 touchdown passes,
something like that. Yeah.
And the other one, he brought them back from almost a 20-point deficit to get a tie. But they didn't lose, so I guess that's
both of us are taking Green Bay on the road. Oakland at Dallas. This game is I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to take Dallas at home. I think Oakland doesn't really have a shot coming in. I think Matt McGloin has done wonders coming in and actually doing well on the offense. But I don't think it's going to be good enough to beat Dallas.
Darren McFadden is also probably going to come back this week for the Oakland Raiders.
It really doesn't matter to me because Darren McFadden, when he was healthy earlier in the season, didn't do much.
I agree. I don't think Matt McGloin does enough on the road.
McGloin.
That's what I said, McGloin. I don't think he does enough on the road. Tony Romo and that talented offense takes it at home and takes one step closer.
First place.
One step closer. We'll find out if they win. If they win and Philly loses this week, we will get the first place. So we got the Dallas win. Let's see if Philly loses.
Pittsburgh at Baltimore is the 8 o'clock game on Thursday. All 3 of these games, guys, Thursday, Thanksgiving.
Yep.
So just grab a plate and just go sit down in front of the TV for a while. Pittsburgh at Baltimore.
Forget the kids, forget everybody else. Have a nice drink, nice scotch, nice rum, something like that.
Another division game. These games are kind of like the New Orleans Atlanta games, just simply because they're so close.
Throw out the records usually. Doesn't matter what it is.
Most of the games are within 7 points at the end of the game. I really think Baltimore is actually starting to catch fire right now. I don't think Pittsburgh was playing really well last week. I think Roethlisberger is starting to get comfortable again. I really don't think it matters. I think Baltimore is going to squeak it out.
I think Pittsburgh starts to catch fire last week. This week, I think they start to get a roll, but Roethlisberger starts to get comfortable.
So you're going to pooch finally again?
Later, I don't know. That was pretty impressive. Ben Roethlisberger gets later in the season. It gets the better Ben Roethlisberger becomes. I'm going to take Steelers on the road on this one. I'm going to go with a bold prediction. I'm going to say Cincinnati is going to choke this division away and let the Pittsburgh Steelers back in the playoff hunt.
Wow. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be that far. Jacksonville at Cleveland. This game I don't think is really going to matter. Jacksonville did get their second win of the season this weekend. Doesn't matter. They're facing Cleveland. Cleveland's actually been a thorn in most of the AFC North side this year. I think Cleveland takes this one at home.
I would pick Jacksonville if they were at home on this game, but I can't go with them on the road. Cleveland has been a pretty.
They're playing better football.
They are. Jacksonville's playing much better football than they were the first half of the season. Cleveland is good though. Cleveland's got a good defense. I think the defense is the big reason why they win this game.
Miami and New York Jets.
I'm gonna go with the Jets in this one.
Are you really?
I'm gonna go with the Jets at home.
Who's starting?
That would be Matt Sims. From what I have heard and what I have read online, Matt Sims will be your starting quarterback. I think Jets have a really good defense. Or not a really good defense, but one of the better defenses in the AFC. And I do not think Miami can bounce back from a really devastating loss in a game that they are in right into the end and then just lost it.
Miami wins this one on the road. There's Matt Sims is starting? No.
Jets.
Done.
Jets.
Chicago and Minnesota. Minnesota coming off that great tie this weekend.
Woo!
Chicago, on the other hand, is still Jay Cutler is still probably a week away from starting again.
That's fine with me. If I'm a Chicago fan, I'm completely fine with that.
You know, his backup has been phenomenal.
McCown has been terrific. I mean, he's been better than Cutler has been most of the season.
Plus or minus 2 touchdowns, regardless, rushing or receiving for AP.
Minus.
Really?
Yep.
I'm going to take the plus. I'll go even on it. I think he's going to get 2 touchdowns this weekend, but I think Chicago still wins.
I'm going to take Chicago on the road. Their backup's just playing phenomenal. I don't know. Would you consider not starting Cutler when he comes back and gets healthy?
Nope.
All right.
Tennessee at Indianapolis. Indianapolis, just that
Reeling.
horrific loss last
Indy's
week.
just reeling the past few weekends, and it's really embarrassing me and making me look stupid for my Super Bowl pick.
Yeah, and you know what? When listening to the games, and we were actually able to watch the games this Sunday, and listening to the announcers at the Indy game are like, Indy just keeps giving up these big first half, leads, and then they just come back, and it's like they didn't this week.
Yeah,
and
it's surprising.
And they're playing a division team which they just barely beat.
Yeah, and the
couple
Cardinals
weeks
are
ago.
a good team this year.
Cardinals?
Well, I was talking about last week's game.
Oh, I was about to say.
Yeah, last week.
I was like, wait a second, where are you going?
They got destroyed by the Cardinals last week, and Cardinals are a good team. And Indy has to understand when you're going up against, the top talent in the NFL, you can't go down to a big deficit in the first half and just expect to make it up every week, no matter how good your team is, no matter how confident and talented and poised your quarterback is. You can't keep doing that week in and week out. That can't be your mantra of how to play football.
Ryan Fitzpatrick has actually been playing pretty decent football.
Yeah.
I'm still going to take Indy at home.
I'm going to take Indy at home as well. I think they put it together and they make up for the mistakes they've made the past few weeks.
Tampa Bay at Carolina, because I can't read who's Arizona is facing because Bryce sucks at writing.
That's Philadelphia. That's obviously Philadelphia.
Now I see it.
PHI?
Now I see it. Let's start with the Arizona Philly game then. Funny.
You can see to the moon with these.
Philadelphia coming off their bye week, and with Andy Reid, they were I think 13-1 coming off of a bye or something like that.
Something ungodly.
And Arizona's coming off a really, really big win.
Phenomenal, fantastic win against Indianapolis.
Nick Foles has been named starter for the remainder of the season.
Oh, that was an easy decision.
According to Chip Kelly.
Yeah. When your quarterback throws 17 touchdowns in like 3 weeks.
This one's a really tough one for me because I like Arizona's secondary.
Yeah.
And the way that Philly's offense has been going, the way that Foles has been throwing, I have a hard time thinking, okay, their secondary compared to Foles' tossing is going to be a difficult matchup. On the other hand, Arizona's offense has been on fire. Fitzgerald had 2 touchdowns last week.
Carson Palmer has looked actually really serviceable.
I mean, it's a tough one for me. I'm going to take Philly at home, but it's like a coin flip for me. I really could see both of this going either way.
I'm going to take Arizona on the road for the facts that you stated. Their secondary is terrific. I don't think they're going to give Nick Foles a lot of time in the pocket to pass it. I think they're going to
look at Patrick Peterson for Arizona and the Honey Badger.
Look at
both on the same team right now.
Old guy. I forget. My mind.
Dante Robinson?
Pardon me. No.
He's on the Chiefs.
No, it's not him. I was looking up stats today. I'm going to go with Arizona on the road. Carson Palmer is quietly doing really, really well in Arizona.
Tampa Bay at Carolina. This game is actually really interesting because Carolina needs this win to continue their dominance in the NFC South. Tampa Bay, on the other hand, quietly is having a 3-game winning streak right now.
What does that feel like?
It sucks. Thanks. Of course, you wouldn't know what a 3-game winning streak sounds like either.
Shut up.
Carolina at home.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Carolina at home as well.
New England at Texas. Texans. Houston. I'm going to take New England.
I'm going to take New England. The Texans are atrocious. The Texans actually right now are in line for the #1 draft spot.
Atlanta, barely. Atlanta. Speaking of Atlanta at Buffalo. Buffalo. This game is actually going to be in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take Buffalo at home.
I'm going to take Buffalo at home, too, because they can get to the quarterback. They're number 1 in sacks in the NFL.
And our offensive line is horrific.
Over under 6 sacks for Matty Ice this week.
Under.
I say over.
Wow.
Yeah. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be like a 32-10.
Wow.
Yep.
St. Louis at San Francisco. San Francisco coming off the big Monday night win. Dominant win, in my opinion.
Yeah.
St. Louis continues to play really good football. Their offense is moving. Their defense is starting to give up some points, but it's like hit or miss.
They have a very explosive offense, with Tavon Austin and Stacy in the backfield. And Tavon Austin's just a terrific kind of
It's exploded since Sam Bradford's out.
Yeah, it really has. And Tavon Austin's kind of one of those Randall Cobb, Percy Harvin type players. He can play a bunch of different positions. You can line him up in a bunch of different places and create matchup problems. I'm going to go with an upset. I think St. Louis goes into San Francisco and pulls this one out.
I'm going to take San Francisco at home. I think San Francisco's moving in the right direction, moving to try to at least catch up with Seattle. I know it's not going to happen, especially with Seattle's schedule the rest of the way.
Yeah.
But I think San Francisco wins this game. Denver at Kansas City, a rematch from 2 weeks ago. Denver coming off a debilitating loss. I mean, when you lose to New England the way that you did, guys,
I think it was 53-0, and something like that. It was a huge comeback. I mean, it was just a huge letdown.
The question remains is, what is the temperature going to be in Kansas City this weekend?
Yeah.
Because I saw a stat this week that said Peyton Manning is 1-6 in games under 32 degrees.
Him and Mark Sanchez have something in common.
I'm going to take Kansas City at home. I think they actually have the upper hand.
I'm going to take Kansas City at home as well. I'm going to take them at home for the reasons that I said I was going to take them on the road last time they played. I think they get to Peyton Manning early. I think they get him to him often. I think they get him shooken up. I think they get him off rhythm.
It's like deja vu.
I know. I swung and missed the first try.
Yeah,
I'm going for it again this time.
Cincinnati at San Diego. San Diego coming off that great win this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati, I'm going with you. I think Cincinnati is actually going to crap away the division lead. I'm going to take San Diego at home this one.
I am as well. Phillip Rivers out there in San Diego.
Continuing to have an incredible
year. Very quiet, terrific year. The West Coast teams don't get a ton of publicity, and it kind of sucks. But San Diego, they're doing pretty good. And Phillip Rivers keeps proving why he's a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Sunday night game is New York Giants at Washington Redskins. I'm going to take New York on the road because I have zero confidence in Washington right now. I think they are a completely awful team. They're going in the wrong direction as opposed to moving up from where they started last year. When they were 10-6 last year, after starting, I think they were 2-6 and then won every single game after that.
Mm-hmm.
They're moving in the wrong direction this year. And I think Washington's RG3 last week was the first time in his collegiate and pro career that he did not have an offensive touchdown in the game.
I'm going to go with Washington at home.
Do tell.
Kirk Cousins throws 2 touchdowns.
Wow! You think Cousins is getting in?
I think RG3 either gets pulled in the first half or gets hurt in the first half. Kirk Cousins comes in and tosses 2 touchdown passes in the second half.
I'm going to call you crazy just simply because I know who his coach is. Mike Shanahan is not going to pull RG3. New Orleans at Seattle, the Monday night game. This game is going to be phenomenal.
It is. This might be the NFC Championship game.
It really could be.
It's a very high possibility.
Drew Brees and that offense continues to play well. Their defense under your former DC, Rob Ryan, is looking really incredible.
Terrific. I know. Thank you.
Seattle, on the other hand, is playing at home. It's going to be the 12th man, all that kind of jazz. I don't think New Orleans' firepower can actually hold up to Seattle. I don't think Seattle's offense can keep up, but I don't think they're deep. I'm going to take Seattle home.
I am too, because New Orleans is such a Jekyll and Hyde team when it comes to playing on the road compared to playing at home. Playing at home, they're almost unstoppable. Playing on the road this year, they have multiple chinks in their armor. And Seattle at home, I mean, that's a crazy environment. Try to go in there and take it from a team that's number 1 in the power rankings right now and is just playing phenomenal football at the moment. It's going to be really hard. I do not think the Saints can go in and win.
Let's talk about the Iron Bowl real quick. Alabama at Auburn this year.
Going to the Plains.
This game is actually
It's
so much better than it was last year.
And it's for the SEC West. The winner of this will represent the West in the SEC championship game.
Alabama is 11-0. Auburn is 10-1.
Yep.
The one loss coming against a LSU team, I believe. Watch the Georgia-Auburn game. Continue to watch just how Alabama just continues to go up and down the field.
Mm.
I'm going to take Alabama, but I think it's going to be close. I think Auburn's offense. I think the key is going to have to be, can Auburn's offense get the ball down the field, pass the ball downfield?
Mm-hmm.
If you can get the ball deep downfield, I think you have a shot. But if you can't, if you're going to be doing the dunks and dives that you're used to,
no,
I don't think you're going to stand a chance against Alabama.
I agree with you. If I were a betting man, I would take Auburn in the points because Bama is a 10.5 favorite. I don't think Auburn loses by that much. Yeah,
No.
I don't think Auburn loses by that much. I do think they lose though. I think they lose by about a 5 or 8 point margin. They're gonna give them all they can handle. Auburn's gonna be in the game late, and they're gonna have a shot to win it. I just do not think they can do it. I think that they're just gonna get outcoached. Nick Saban is a terrific coach, and I mean he's just got that team rolling.
Let's talk about the game. The game.
Yep.
Ohio State versus that team up north, also known as Michigan. Michigan's 7-4 this year, playing really crappy football right now. I mean, that's just honest words right now.
They have like sanctions.
They're playing like.
Did they lose their head coach?
No.
7-4. There has to be some reason to lose those 4 games.
Because they're crappy.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ohio State is still riding a 23-game winning streak.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be 24 after Saturday. I think Ohio State's going to give them everything that they have. And, I mean, I watched Urban Meyer's press conference earlier in the week. They started to practice a day early this week just in preparation for this game, just because they know the depth, just what you need to do to get ready for this game.
Remember the Illinois score?
63-14?
They scored more than that. 63-35.
Oh, yes.
You remember the Indiana score is what you were thinking of.
Okay. Yeah.
Get used to that. That's what we're going to see this week. From what I've seen out of the Michigan's offense this year, they are completely inept and atrocious, as are the defense of the Wolverines. They're just lacking talent, lacking coaching. They're just flat out bad. We're favored by 14 in this game. We cover it easily.
I agree. I think this is going to be more than a 2-touchdown win for Ohio State. Ohio State won 26-20 last year.
It will not be
and
a one.
It was a great game. Urban Meyer's first game ever as head coach. And this one's going to be his first game ever as head coach in Ann Arbor.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be a like you said, I think it's going to be a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State wins, and we continue our dominance of Michigan the past 10 years.
Was it one win?
1 in 9 years. 1 in 10 years. Yeah.
Is that to be considered a rivalry?
Yes. Yes, it does.
1 in 10 years, yes.
For Bryce, I'm Billy. Thanks, guys, for watching. Go Bucks.